Hey Scorpio, it's Empress Rose here for another reading for you. These are general readings, so take what works, leave what doesn't. Check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus. If I don't catch your storyline in this one, I may catch your storyline or your energy wave in one of the other ones. I was just thinking something that I was gonna say, and then as soon as I turned on the camera, I didn't. Oh, I love doing Scorpio readings. I don't have a lot of Scorpios in my life right now, but your readings sure are fun, or for me anyway. They come in pretty clear. I like it. So we're gonna start with the Oracle of Mystical Moments. It's a name that I should know by now, but I don't. It's just like throw in a bunch of woo-woo terms and call it a deck. So we're gonna get an intuitive vibe for where we're going today. We are grateful for the accurate message we're about to receive for Scorpio. What's the most useful thing Scorpio can know today? Oh, I see. We'll be lucky after that card came out. The not talking about a card. We'll be lucky if we get another one out of this deck. All right, any more messages for Scorpio today? Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm not gonna make you work too hard. Oh, you are not talking this week at all. You don't want to talk about it. We have like a bird. This is talking about not talking. I don't know why it's called like a bird, but she's holding it back. She's holding it back at its throat. She's got a message. She's got an idea, maybe a big idea, and she's holding this bluebird back from flying forward. She's not talking about it. She's looking towards the future. She's very determined. She knows what she wants, and she knows what she wants to say, and she is not saying it right now. There's a lot of seeing very far, seeing the whole landscape, seeing everything, but withholding the information or not talking about everything that you're seeing, not talking about it. And then we have listen. Also, very clearly about not talking. It was just, sometimes I think tarot reiterates itself when I find it very validating, like, okay, that reading was the right reading, or when I get a bunch of cards that repeat itself. But also I think it's just like hedging its bets, like, okay, if she doesn't get this one and understand what we mean by it, then maybe she'll get this one. So this was the second, this was the first one that jumped out, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, this deck doesn't have much more to say, because that's usually what's going on with this, is not talking about it. We're not really discussing. We're looking forward with a lot of determination and a lot of focus, but we're not discussing it. We're holding back some kind of communication that we'd like, that we're holding ourselves back a little bit. And then here we have listen. So this is, again, this is about receiving those messages. You're not talking about them yet, but you're receiving them. You're listening to this rootedness, it's a very nurturing vibe. The plants get their nutrients from the soil here, and it looks, your mind is being nurtured somehow through this listening, and this can be listening to a lot of things. And whenever I see this card, I almost hear the little of ant feet, and I can almost hear the birds up here, and the butterflies' wings somehow make some noise, and it's all very noisy. Normally it'd be like the peaceful field, but it's so loud right now. Some of these nurturing, peaceful, life-giving sounds are going to be much louder to you this week, and connecting with you, meaning something. So you're very focused on something in the future, but you're not talking about it yet, and you're in a listening mode this week, which is good. Listening is so healing for everybody involved, It's not easy to do sometimes, to just listen, but to feel like you've been fully heard is such a healing thing, and to fully listen to someone else and their point is very healing too. I'm not perfect at it, but I know about it. Okay, a win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra. So this is Everybody's going to get a little bit of what they want. This is not lose-lose. This is, oh, I was just talking about the healing nature of listening and how it's healing both for the person listening and for the person talking. So this could be about listening and how it's beneficial. It's going to be beneficial for both people. You're not going to charge in. You're not going to fly in and rush in with your ideas and what you want. You're going to be quietly listening, or maybe actively listening. We can actively listen with a lot of and oh yeah, when oh my goodness, really, you know, active listening. But this is going to be good for both parties. You not talking and you doing a lot of listening is going to be very healing for both parties. Libra is all about relationships, all about fairness and balance. So this is going to be about a completion of something, you know, something coming forward. And I think that you're supposed to be the receive that thing that's coming forward. And I think both parties are going to be able to benefit from it, and it's going to restore some sort of balance to a situation. Okay, we're going to move to ethereal visions for, oh, I've already shuffled these. I'm just, you know me, nervously shuffling this last little bit. Normally I'd have you personally cut the deck and then it's your, you know, and then you define the reading that way. But we can't do that this way. So I just kind of move the cards around till I feel like you would have probably cut it like this, right? Right. Okay. So Scorpio, this is your past. This is your present. This is your inner landscape. This is what's at issue. This is your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Okay. Yeah, it is going to be healing. Okay, we have, this card has two very unique cards, extra cards, this deck of ethereal visions. And this, we have the artist in your recent past. You have very close observation, collaboration with what you see and what you imagine, that those two things coming in and collaborating, but very close, inspired observation. And communicating that somehow to other people, being a conduit of inspired communication to others, and, you know, in a way, bringing back your communication with the divine or whatever, and bringing that back in a way that inspires others and brings others a deeper understanding of our human experience and our place in the universe. That's the artist role. So in your present situation, you have the moon. So this is looking into something that you can't see. So there's a lot of darkness. You're having to really be in touch with your intuition here. This is definitely a very quiet card here also, as far as just like not being able to see clearly, things, just being in a lot of darkness. But here you're kind of enjoying it. You're enjoying that journey within, and trying to figure out, trying to feel and intuit your way through a situation. You can't see all the facts clearly. You can't see what's going on very clearly, but you are having to, there's something around you or some sort of situation in your present situation where intuition is playing a huge role, and feelings are playing a huge role, and trying to feel your way through sort of a situation where there's just not a lot of clarity, and you're not going to be able to, you know, make a lot of spreadsheets and grids about the situation. You're just going to have to kind of you're moving forward in the dark here. In your inner landscape, what you're hoping for is a lot of emotional maturity, maybe even an offering of love. But this is King of Cups. This is being very emotionally mature, able to handle a wide range of emotions and use them as information and informing, using them as information, and being able to deal with even some really overwhelming emotions. Some huge overwhelming emotions may come in, but as the king, what you're wanting, what you're hoping for, what you're striving for is to be able to handle those big waves coming in and tumbling you a little bit, and being strong enough to be able to you know, take what you can out of those, you know, these overwhelming experiences, emotionally overwhelming experiences, but be able to be solid, stable, and secure, even as you go through some big, overwhelming emotional changes. These big, overwhelming changes might be making logic a little bit difficult to follow here and to have as important. So what your hope is that you're going to be able to embody this energy of being stable, or somebody's in this situation. No, you're hoping that you're going to be stable and be able to handle big emotions in a very mature way. That's what you're hoping for. At issue, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is at issue. So this is very stubborn energy. This is very, this might be workaholic energy. This might be, he's very good at money. So there might be some greed here too. These are things that are holding you back. And it could be one or all of those, but just greed, too much focus on worldly possessions, and very stubborn and immobility. Somebody in this situation isn't moving forward, isn't allowing this win-win to come in. There's just a lot of stubborn energy here, and it's creating an issue. In your environment, you have strength. So there's something in your environment that's giving you strength and patience, or asking you to use a lot of strength and patience. So there's something in your environment it feels like it's never going to end. Like you're in this eternal situation where you're always going to be having to tame this lion and tame, having the strength to deal with this and to deal with this, and having the patience to deal with this. So I'm having a hard time understanding how that would be in your environment. The strength, you're getting strength from something in your environment. It's sustaining you. It's helping you be patient. It's helping you hold on. It's helping you tame your inner beast here. So there's something in your environment that's really coming in to either asking you to have a lot of strength or giving you the strength that you need to get through a situation. So you're relying on something in your environment to help with that. In your to-do list, this is the energy you're being called into, is harvesting what's yours. This Nine of Pentacles, this is about feminine strength, or just strength. We cannot genderize the strength. We've got strength right here. And this is harvest time. This is, you've worked really hard for this. It's time to level it up. This is your vineyard, and you've worked a very long time to bring, you've been with these plants for forever. You've been pruning them and helping them every year for decades. You're having a bumper crop, and you're supposed to come into the energy of harvesting something that's yours and moving it to the next step in the process, because this is just the beginning of the winemaking, is the harvesting of these grapes. So it's a long process, but you're the owner. You're the this is your whole estate. You've worked very hard for something, and it's time for you to harvest it. So you're coming into this energy of knowing what's yours, having pride in the work that you have done and the work you've been able to do, and being ready to pull this in and harvest this. Maybe you're going to need to be emotionally stable as you listen to something that could be very upsetting. All right, and then the possible outcome, I'm just trying to see where the story connects here, how we got. Your possible outcome here is the Six of Swords. So this is taking, launching yourself away from a very painful place, a painful situation, and leaving that situation behind. It looks like this is going to come through some sort of listening, some sort of conversation, or some sort of inspiration you're going to get from listening. You're really holding back here. You're very focused on this future, but it looks like you are going to be moving on. The more you come into this power and this understanding of what you've earned and what you're worth, and bringing in these pentacles and this money that you've earned, or this this. It does seem to have to do with work. The Pentacles always have to do with the physicality, the physical world. So there's something here that's just physically yours, and it's time for you to claim it. And this could be money or something like that. But it is going to be a win-win situation for everybody's going to get something that they want out of this situation. You're getting the harvest. It's time for you to harvest something, to bring something in. And then somehow bringing that in allows you to leave a difficult situation behind. You know, calling in what's yours allows you to leave this very difficult land behind. You're going to be heading out onto some very uncertain open waters. There's a storm out there, but it's somehow worth heading out into the unknown. It's going to be better than staying with the familiar shore you've been on, which is saying quite a bit, because we all prefer the familiar and the known enemy to the unknown enemy. So when your known enemy becomes so bad that the unknown enemy is just worth the risk, that's when it's time to go. So this is moving on from a painful situation. So it's one of my favorite cards in the deck, actually. I really love it and appreciate it, because that moment, that first launch, is so risky and is kind of a big deal. So there's something about, you know, a full moon, a relationship coming full, of fairness. And I think this fairness is you taking what's yours. But there also has to do with like a listening and a not talking. You're not talking about it. Maybe you're just going to take what's yours and move on from a painful situation and not really discuss anything anymore about it. It's not open for discussion. You're just looking to the future. This is definitely looking to the future here. And being very focused on a future endeavor. And this is a possible outcome here. All right, Scorpio. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, even watching. And just watching is encouraging and beneficial to see the view count go up. And it also raises all of those activities, raise the profile of the channel so that other people can find these messages, which are hopefully useful to everyone. All right, so have a wonderful week, Scorpio.